Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Kimberly Cloud Show. I'm your host, Kimberly Cloud. I have a very, very special guest, two of them. Can you go ahead and announce to the world who you are and where y'all calling from?
Whoa. Hi, so I'm Sheba Mason, and I'm a comedian, and we are actually calling you right now from Toronto, Canada. We flew from New York, and this...
I'm Ian.Wehrle, and I play her father in a musical written by her mother.
Cool. So if you want, I want to start with you, Sheba. Tell me about your past, present, and future, and then I'll move on to Ian.
Okay, so I was born. I was the daughter of Jackie Mason and Ginger Reiter. Jackie Mason, if you don't know, he was the legendary comedian. He had 8 one-man Broadway shows. He had HBO specials.
He was in The Jerk.
He was in The Jerk. He was in Caddyshack too.
I remember that. Yeah.
You saw it?
Yeah, Caddyshack too. Yes.
Oh, cool. And so, and my mother is a playwright, Ginger Reiter. She's a bunch of different plays, but one of them is about her 10-year relationship with my father. And I play my mother, and it's a musical comedy with a cast of 8. And he plays Jackie Mason, and he looks more like it without his hat on. And so, aside from that, I've been a comedian in my own right from the time I was 19, and now I'm in my 30s. I'm not going to tell you exactly, but it's probably easy to Google. Don't Google it now, but later. Don't ever Google it. Just leave it. I'm in my 30s. Yeah. So, and so we actually live in Manhattan, and we're here now in Toronto doing the show, which opens tomorrow. So it's pretty exciting. It's a lot of work, and that's pretty much it.
Before I move on to Ian, tell me, what show are y'all doing?
So this is called The Jackie Mason Musical. So it's a musical comedy with a cast of 8, and it's all about my mother's 10-year relationship with Jackie Mason, and I play my mother. So psychologists have a field day with it because I actually get pregnant with myself, you know? Whoa. So my father, yeah, right. So psychologists who see the show, their brains are just like wrapped into a pretzel. They can't even believe what's going on. And so, there's songs in it, like it shows their relationship for 10 years where they went from coffee shop to coffee shop. I don't know if you know about Miami Beach at all, but there was a whole scene in Miami Beach, like they would hang out at the Rascal House, in like the 70s, like it starts in 1977. So it's kind of retro, which is fun. And you see like a surly Rascal House waitress. And my father was a bit of a philanderer, and there's a really sexy, cute waitress named Trixie, and she kind of represents, all the hoes, you know what I'm saying? So, but it's funny, and there's like a scene called "Ode to the Early Bird Special" song and stuff like that. And then, he wasn't really around when I was a kid, so it just kind of talks about their relationship. We don't delve into that.
Well said, Ms. Sheba. Tell me about your past, present, and future now, sir.
Sure. Well, I've always been a fan of Jackie Mason, and I found her about 10 years ago online. She was doing this show. I said, wouldn't it be wonderful? I've been practicing this character of Jackie Mason, and now I really sound Irish, but when I'm doing Jackie Mason, I do it like this. I do it like a Jew, like a New York Jew. And that's what you do. You come out on stage and you tell a joke or two, and you say this. Look. So it's a whole different gimmick. I know. It doesn't seem like it's natural, but it really is. It feels comfortable. We love doing it on stage together. We've been doing it for 10 years. We played Off Broadway for 2 years, and now we're in Toronto. Of all places, Toronto. And on the Kimberly Cloud Show, better than all the things combined.
Thank you. And tell me, how is the show going to be? How's the show been built? Like, what is the first opening scene to the ending scene?
Wow, that's a really great question. That's a really good question. So the first scene is basically, so I'm introduced as Sheba Mason, and I'm at a comedy club, and a fellow comedian is introducing me, and I do like about a minute of my act, and then he says, "Great set," and then he says, "Well, tell me about your parents. How did you meet? How did you come into the world?" And I explain. I say, "Well, according to my mother, they had a passionate love affair for 10 years. According to my father, they once fooled around in the back of a Chevrolet," and I say stuff like that, and then. And then I say, "Well, why don't I show you what happened?" And I go, "How about this? I'll play my mother Ginger, and you can be my father's friend Willie." So it's almost like, the show, the movie, It's a Wonderful Life, where you're sort of looking at things from another perspective. It's almost like that. And so then I say the year was 1977, and it starts off in Miami Beach, and we sing a song called "The Breeze is Sweeter in Miami." And you meet all the characters one by one as they come out, and they're all like in the coffee shop. So you meet the two waitresses, you meet Jackie's best friend Willie, the woman who plays my mother in the show, who's a very dominating Jewish woman. And then and so you meet these people, and then it's called The Breeze is Sweeter in Miami, because the ocean mist sails into the air, and we have that. And then basically, it takes you all the way through coffee shop scenes and like their dating life and stuff like that, and the things they would do. And then she meets Jackie Mason. He says, "Why don't you get that girl over to my table and see if she would like to meet me and get a free dinner?" He says it to his friend. And her mother was a very dominating Jewish woman who sort of is like, "Well, Jackie Mason, of course, I want to meet Jackie Mason." So when they come over to the table, they're asking, he asked them, a long time, and the mother's answering all the questions because that's what Jewish mothers do, like the New York Jewish type. I don't know how much time you've spent in New York, but I'm sure
I've never been. I would love to go. I want to go.
Kansas, go to Kansas.
Yeah, I go to Kansas. Well, she's from Washington.
Oh, Washington.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question? How did this start? Like, did you do college, acting school? Because Broadway is huge. You know what I mean? Like, you're on Broadway and doing comedies. I researched you. You're everywhere on the SEO platform. What's the deal with that? Like, how did you get started with school and like transition over to Broadway?
Well, I have. I've done theater my whole entire life. I've done. Because I come from such a show business background, I took all the lessons and all that stuff, and I actually didn't go to college for theater because I should have.
You got a full ride scholarship.
Well, I got something. I was supposed to go to NYU, but it was a little too expensive to go to Tisch at the time. And the child support stopped when I was 18, so I was on my own. So I ended up going to Baruch College, and then through becoming a comedian, all these things kind of started to happen, because back when I became a comedian almost 20 years ago, people, really cared who Jackie Mason was. He was still pretty big. And I was able to sort of parlay that.
Tell me an intertwined joke between the two. Like, the actual show you do, I want y'all to act out a scene where you're being the character and he's being the character. I have to know how y'all do it because I love to laugh. If y'all don't mind, just an example.
Take the one when
Which one are you thinking?
where you're in the scene.
Which one?
And
With you?
Yeah.
Oh, the finger.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, that's perfect. Okay, so you seem kind of young, so I don't know if you seem pretty young.
Just start the
So I don't know if
It's okay.
So I don't know how familiar you are with this story, but it was a famous story. Like Jackie was one of the first victims of cancel culture because he was on the Ed Sullivan Show. And
I know who that is.
You know what I'm saying? So while he was on the show, they thought that he gave Ed Sullivan the finger on the air, but he didn't. Because when you're a comedian, you practice your whole 5 minutes, and you're so excited, you know exactly what 5 minutes you're going to do. And he got cut short. And he actually just went like this, and he was confused. He wasn't going like this, but that got him blacklisted. And, disaster after that, and it set him back like 20 years his career. So we have a scene in the show where I say to Jackie, we're like in the bedroom, and I say to him, is it true? When I was 12, my family was watching you on the Ed Sullivan Show that night. What really happened? Did you really give Ed Sullivan the finger on the air?
I was a rabbi. Everyone in my family was a rabbi. It was not in my vocabulary to make such an obscene gesture. It was on the television. Millions of people were watching. This was my 12th show out of 20. How was I to know that Lyndon Johnson would preempt me with a speech about Vietnam? And then we go into a song about it, a whole song. I talk about the finger.
Yeah.
And then at the end of it, you say,
did you do a little bit of that?
There's no tracks, but my next big break. I'm waiting for my next big break. Later to try and get back to the beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And then at the end of
and I go, that's really sad, Jackie, to think you could have really made it big.
Well, at least it didn't ruin my sex life, eh? Pretty good, eh? We have a baby later. We have a baby.
I love both of y'all. Oh my God. How much are the tickets?
Well, they start out at like, seems like $70 Canadian, and then they go down to like 50. It's like tiered seating.
What's the website?
The website is thejackymasonmusical.com.
I'm gonna, after I interview you guys, I got 5 minutes with you guys. I'm going to sit up there. I want to do a do-over too with y'all in a more undisclosed location, but I'm gonna edit this. But also, I want to make sure that I get as much information possible, so when we do it again, it's going to be nicer. I love this. I love the energy y'all bring. I love the fact that y'all together. You can tell y'all have like a back and forth energy. You know, you say something, he says it back. The energy flow is good. And let's see. What about
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And what I want to know is the comedy, more about the comedy. You travel around the United States and Canada doing this?
Yeah. Well, this is the musical, yeah. And so, me doing stand-up, I do that too everywhere. But the musical, this is the first time we're in Canada with the musical. After this, it's going to be in
But you did
Florida.
comedy up here last time.
I did do comedy up here last time, yeah. And then they brought me, I thought that it would be like a really good idea for Canada. The crowd seemed to like come to see me, so I thought maybe they'll come to see this.
Yeah, and like, I just wanted to know, like, it's so many questions I have, and it's just so not coming out the right way. But I'll tell you like this. I love what y'all are doing. Number one, because y'all are taking something that you learned from your family and bringing it back to life. And I think y'all should be further than what y'all are today, because I can tell the energy. It's all about the energy. Sometimes the energy isn't there in people that are in movies and stuff. And that's what leads me to, what are y'all going to do for the future? Have y'all met high-end celebrities, by the way?
B-listers.
That's fine. That's fine. Who have you met?
You met Regis?
Yeah, I met Regis.
Regis and Kathy? With Regis and Kathy?
Yeah, before he passed. Yeah, we met him.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Did you meet any celebrities?
I've met Will Roberts, not in the flesh, but virtually. I've met what else? What is his name? The guy from Womp, there it is, DC Glenn, but this show isn't about me. I get what you're saying. You know what I mean? I don't want to be interviewed. I want to interview you guys.
Well, I've opened for Dave Attell. He just had a Netflix special come out.
Good. Where do y'all see yourself going in the future with y'all comedy, man? Yeah, how many followers do y'all have? I like this jacket. I had to say it.
Well, that's why we're on the show. We want to get more followers. That's
How many people come to see you?
Oh, tons come to see.
Like 15 to 20,000?
Yeah.
Over the course of a year?
Over the course of a year.
That's perfect, man. That's good. That's a good job. Seriously. And where do you see yourself going in the future with this?
Washington.
Yeah, we're coming to Washington to a theater near you.
And I am going to promote y'all. If y'all really are coming to Washington, hit me up via phone or email, and I will promote you on events in other places.
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. Maybe we should go to Washington.
We'll be at the Admiral Theater.
Cool.
But next week we're going to be in Florida, and then we're going to be in Long Island and the Catskills. There's going to be a Catskill Festival. Probably be there. And, we're just going to.
One last question. If you had to give a piece of advice to a inspiring comedian out there that wants to be in y'all's shoes, just able to be free and traveling the world, what kind of advice would you give, Sheba?
Marry rich.
Oh no, seriously. Seriously.
That would be.
Be yourself. You have the story that you need to tell the world, that the world needs to hear from you. It's in you. It's ready to be said. Open your mouth. Get on stage. Get a mic in front of you. The world needs to hear it. Your story is what.
And everybody's story is unique, even if you feel like on. You know, everybody has a unique story.
How do y'all go into character? I'm sorry, I have to ask this last question. How do y'all go into character to act? How do you do it? How do you just go in and snap into character and do this brilliant job? I just got a taste of it. And I can tell y'all are very good actors and actress.
Well, it's about never leaving the character. You live the character. She lives the character. If you ever met her mother, they live this personality of comedy, this personality in the scene, in the groove, in the constantly rapid fire wit after wit after wit. You're around them.
Y'all definitely are cool with me. Do you have any more advice? You have the floor? You can say, come visit me here, or whatever you want to say, Sheba.
Well, on a separate note, I do run a pretty cool comedy show in New York City at the Three Monkeys, 7 nights a week. It's called Sheba's Speakeasy, Sheba, 1 E in Sheba. A lot of people think it's 2, and that's okay. But I'm named after the Queen of Sheba. And it's called Sheba's Speakeasy, and it's at the Three Monkeys. And it's 7 nights a week, a rotating roster of some of the best New York City comics. So if anyone's ever in New York, good place to check it out. And he, you know, he's just himself.
Wow.
You have advice for anyone?
I think we said it.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Stay on the line. Huh? What?
Invest young.
Invest young.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. Stay on the line 1 second. And I just want to talk to you. Hold on for a second, okay, Sheba?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you all for joining my show. Y'all have a wonderful day. Take care, and I'll see y'all at 6, okay?